Topping news, the Customs Department has been grappling with a persistent issue that's significantly impacting the collection of customs duties on imported vehicles. Officials are now issuing a stern warning as they intensify efforts to crack down on individuals exploiting a system designed to assist those affected by Hurricane Dorian. More details on this in tonight's top story.
This week I received a public service announcement from the Control of Customs in Nassau, who has been appraised of certain information that relates to individuals in Grand Bahama who are approaching persons in the community to sell them approved SIRS forms.
The Special Economic Recovery Zone SIRS order, introduced after Hurricane Dorian, allows residents of Grand Bahama and Abaco to import vehicles duty-free. Now, 5 years later, the order remains in effect, but there are growing concerns about its misuse. Acting Deputy Controller of Customs Whitney Kenny reveals that over the years, individuals have exploited the system, selling the forms for profit and even creating fraudulent versions.
We simply want to say that we have come across individuals who did this in the past and for some reason they were scammed.
Kenny explained that hundreds of perpetrators have successfully imported vehicles under false pretenses. When the new administration took office, they identified the problem and began taking steps to address it.
These SIRS imported vehicles should not be imported into Nassau, which is out the zone. And so the present controller, Mr. Ralph Monroe, decided to send his team out to start seizing these vehicles that were imported in this manner into Nassau.
He notes that several high-end vehicles were seized in the capital, resulting in thousands of dollars in customs duties being recovered.
These persons, in most instances, were put on payment plans to pay the outstanding duty and VAT taxes against these vehicles.
Kenny stressed that while some continue to exploit the system, there are still genuine individuals who are recovering from Dorian who are in need of the duty-free form.
We have many persons who would come forward to say that, hey, I'm just able to import a car because I was fixing my home and trying to get that back in order first. And so you still have individuals coming forward seeking to get the SIRS exemption. And in many instances, these persons here in Grand Bahama would have had an approved form. And so we would just tell them, you just need to have it updated.
He asserts that the problem is primarily based in the capital and urges residents to remain vigilant as officials continue to address the ongoing issue. Well, tonight we're breaking news from Bimini, where over 99 foreign workers have been detained, and the government is now chasing down nearly $500,000 in unpaid work permit fees. The arrests came after an immigration operation on Rockwell Island, stirring up concerns among locals. Foreign Affairs Minister Fred Mitchell says the government is firm on collecting these fees and cracking down on immigration violations. Raven Davis is live in studio with the latest. Raven.
Well, Ramiko, some 99 foreign nationals have been detained and close to $500,000 in work permit fees are owed to the government. Exclusive information reaching our ZNS News desk reveals that these migrant workers were arrested by immigration officials following an operation on Rockwell Island in Bimini on Tuesday. Foreign Affairs Minister, the Honorable Fred Mitchell, is making one thing clear: the government will collect what it is owed.
On my visits to Bimini, people have always been complaining about this. And it appears that this is a popular move to bring this matter to a head.
Mitchell says some of these infractions date back to 2015, with complaints from locals persisting for quite some time. The detained nationals include Mexicans, Dominicans, Costa Ricans, and Nicaraguans who were employed for a private subdivision being built, raising additional concerns for Biminites.
As usual, contractors in the Bahamas complain that they don't actually have the local population to be able to do the construction work, so people come in to help build. But if they are coming in to help build, they've got to have a labor certificate and they've got to adhere to the rules. One of which, of course, is to get the work permit and to pay the work permit fees.
Regarding OPAC Limited, the company owned by the developers of Resorts World, he reiterated the mandate is to collect work permit fees and, if necessary, proceed with deportation.
People have to be brought before the courts before a deportation order can take place. And so I don't know how the minister will actually have this unfold, but those are the remedies which are now available to us.
Now, the Foreign Affairs Minister adding that the migrants are currently housed in a church hall in Bimini, which is too small for long-term accommodation. He says this issue will be addressed by relevant authorities and that other locations like Katki will also be scrutinized. Immigration officials have not yet provided an update. However, the Department of Labor is aware, saying through a statement that it is imperative for businesses and companies to adhere to the Employment and Immigration Acts. Reporting live in studio for the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Raven Davis. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks so much, Raven. Well, it has been a relatively smooth start to the new academic year, but still not without some long-standing issues. Bahamas educators, counselors, and allied workers union officials give their assessment. Cleopatra Murphy has that story.
A number of teachers assigned to Grand Bahama, Grand Key, and Bimini are still awaiting geographical allowances. This was one of the concerns expressed by the Bahamas Educators, Counselors, and Allied Workers Union. President Sandra Major says while the teacher shortage on Grand Bahama is not as big as it usually is, shortages still exist in music and PE teachers.
They hired 321 persons, including teachers, aides, guidance counselors, and presently the teachers' aides have not been placed. There's supposed to be approximately 100 of them. They're just being processed. So it's our hope that by the end of September, those persons will be in place. But presently, they are not there yet. So if we get those persons along with the teachers, then we are looking to have a really good year.
Those concerns aside, Beku Area Vice President Michelle Outen says school opened without any major challenges and school repairs were completed in a timely fashion. However, she is disappointed the joint school tour with education officials and the union did not occur, adding it does not signal a good start of the new school year for labor. Outen, however, remains hopeful of a good working relationship with the Ministry of Education.
Grand Bahama has just been given a new district superintendent. The district superintendent is currently not in place, and I think she should be in place, and I'm anticipating an excellent working relationship with her. I worked with her in the past when I lived in New Providence, and she seems level-headed, fair-minded.
With regards to geographical placements, Director of Education Dominique McCartney-Russell says those are being processed, also commending her team for getting most out quickly. She promised to reach out to the union president.
And so once the paperwork has been submitted, the vetting process has been completed, we send that to the Ministry of the Public Service, and then those letters, the appointment letters come, and then we could advance the geographical allowance. And so I'm going to reach out to the president of BECO to ascertain the names of those officers. And I am certain that it's not a whole lot of officers because I know that many of those allowances were paid by the end of July.
When education officials met with teachers, Major says a number of new initiatives were highlighted, including introducing technical and vocational studies in primary schools, changes she sees as positive.
They have restructured the curriculum in a lot of the subjects, math, social studies. They want to integrate in the sciences, in history. They want to integrate Junkanoo as a part of our culture for the month of January, where everything involved in school, Junkanoo is a part of it, which speaks to our culture, which is so important.
With very little complaints about the rollout of the academic year, the union leaders are hopeful for a successful year for students and teachers alike. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Cleopatra Murphy.
Meanwhile, students at the McLeanstown Primary School returned to the school campus on Monday for the first time since it was destroyed by Hurricane Dorian in 2019. It's good news for students in the community. BECO President, or Bahamas Educators, Counselors, and Allied Workers Union Area Vice President, Michelle Outen welcomes the reopening.
The numbers, of course, are a little low right now, but I believe that once the school is open and the word is out there, they are open, you're going to find more people returning home to McLeanstown so that your children can go to school there. There were 2 teachers transferred there that I know of, but that is one of the areas I am understanding that they're still trying to settle. But of course, I can't speak directly to that because they have not communicated directly with me.
In news from the crime beat, police on Grand Bahama seized 67.5 pounds of suspected marijuana worth an estimated $67,500 near the Grand Bahama Waterway. It was shortly before 8 p.m. when officers from the Drug Enforcement Unit conducted a search in an overgrown area near the canal and discovered the drugs. While no arrests were made in connection with this matter, it remains under active investigations. Meanwhile, police on Abaco are busy investigating circumstances surrounding an incident at sea that resulted in the death of a 64-year-old American visitor on Tuesday, September 2nd, 2024. Reports indicate that police were alerted around 5 p.m. Medical personnel were dispatched to a dock site in Green Turtle Key. They met an unresponsive Caucasian male of Florida with head injuries. He was on board a Florida registered vessel along with 3 other passengers. Medical personnel examined the male, found no vital signs of life, and pronounced him dead. When we come back, our reflection of Hurricane Dorian takes us to East Grand Bahama, where 3 men recount the impact of the deadly storm. Stay with us.
Hear that? If you listen closely, you can hear the heartbeat of a nation. That unique sound of a great country pounding with colorful history, a rich culture, and unwavering ambition. When you look around, you recognize its pulse. The people who love to celebrate, who identify with triumph, a people who know how to be our brother's keeper. Commonwealth Bank. Built by Bahamians, here for Bahamians, Bahamians helping Bahamians.
Come on down and see what Dolly Madison has in store for you. Renovate and rejuvenate at Dolly Madison.
Foresight IT Professionals is offering back-to-school deals on all desktop and laptop computer systems, starting at just $4.99. Packages include printer and accessories. It's a great time to purchase that home or office computer. Phone 602-0946 or 813-3355. Foresight IT Professionals, your IT products and services resource.
The Paint Fair family is excited to announce that they're rolling out to a new location soon. Stay tuned for grand reopening details and special giveaways. In the meantime, they are still operating on West Mall Drive while finishing up the renovations.
It's back to school with Bellevue Gibson Supplies. Shop now and get huge savings on composition books, 15% off textbooks, workbooks, school supplies, and all teachers' aids. Bellevue Gibson Supplies, Queens Highway, making going back to school more affordable.
Freeport's Got Talent. Choirs, bands, and soloists. Register by Friday, September 13th. Event hosted in Fort Lucaya Marketplace, September 27th, 28th, and 29th. Freeport's Got Talent. It's a $5,000 grand prize. Brought to you by the Grand Bahama Port Authority.
It's the Renaissance Ball 2024 hosted by the Bahamas Red Cross Society Grand Bahama Center on Saturday, October 19th, 8 p.m. in the Grand Lucayan Ballroom. Formal attire is required with a donation of $175. For more details, contact 352-7163. Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Welcome back. Tonight, we continue to reflect on Hurricane Dorian 5 years later. Our story tonight takes us to East Grand Bahama, where 3 men recount the harrowing details of bracing the Category 5 monster storm.
Ain't no need to worry what the night is gonna bring, 'cause it'll be all over in the morning. In the morning, in the morning, 'cause it'll be all over
East End native and grandson Valentino Cooper sharing a thrilling story about how he went into survival mode to save his grandparents from the wrath of Hurricane Dorian. Cooper's grandparents refused to leave their home in Gambia Point, East End, not knowing that the journey would turn into a fight to save their lives.
I was waiting for the storm to come 7:30 just after 7 at night. So they were sleeping and I wake up too, and I wake them up after I feel a bit of water, like 6 inches of water or so on the floor, so I wake them up. So we started to come into the front room. When I look at the window, the water was on the window way, like we looking up at the window and the water just going like that on the window. So I just like, whoa, all that water out there, we surrounded, we underwater. Just as I say that, like 5-10 seconds later, the window burst, poof, all the water started gushing through. The house was flooding up. Take my grandma, grandpa, put them on a bed. The bed was floating, so I put them on top of the bed, so when the bed floated up to the roof, I could open up the roof, because I had like a little hatchet. So I bust a hole in the roof and tell them when the bed float up, I can catch y'all and pull y'all in the roof with me.
As Hurricane Dorian raged, Cooper clung to life, his grandmother's unwavering faith their only shield against a storm. With every ounce of strength, he kept them afloat in the relentless waves. 5 years later, he reflects on the miracle of survival, grateful just to be alive.
My grandma was singing and things like that. So one thing I noticed is that every time she sing, the water level keep dropping. And I could hear the storm ringing, and I could hear all type of funny noises and screams and stuff inside the storm and thing, you know. But the more she sing and pray, the water just keep dropping. Like it ain't rising, just was holding. It was scary, that there. Like, you get in a car accident, you get shoot, you dead, boom, that's that. But you waiting on that, like you know, tick tock, it coming, you can't stop it. And like, that was a different feeling.
Cooper's neighbors, Steve Lang and Ricardo Ingram, faced a different nightmare. They lost not just homes, but entire livelihoods. Trapped in Freeport, they braved out the storm, only to be devastated by the news of lost lives.
I own a place in Pelican Point. And when I saw it, it took me about 6-7 months to come to some kind of grips when I come back to East End, to be able to contain myself after seeing the utter destruction what the storm did.
When we got home, it was so sad, you know, to see that many homes were devastated. Many homes were destroyed completely. Some homes you couldn't even find. Some of the, oh, wow. And sometimes it's making me even emotional right now, but I talk about it.
We made attempts to get back to East End, but the road was not passable because of the water. So we had to get dump truck. It took us a couple hours to get as far as the National Park. But when we got to National Park, the road was broken in two. So we had to walk by foot to get to Freetown. I can remember the feeling when I saw some of my family members kind of walking from Freetown towards me. How happy I was just to see that someone made it out.
Well, meantime, high marks coming in for a recently aired documentary of ZNS Northern Service, In the Eyes of the Newsroom. The 1-hour program featured the behind-the-scenes footage of personal stories of staff members during a 72-hour broadcast of Hurricane Dorian. Peter Adderley, president of Creative Works, releasing a statement noting that In the Eye of the Newsroom special television show is a masterful broadcast piece constructed by the talented team of the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas Northern Service. The compelling documentary relives the tough challenges faced and the dedicated commitment demonstrated by the entire team of the Northern Service pre, during, and post-Hurricane Dorian. It goes on to say that 5 years after the deadly storm, the show reminds us of the extraordinary leadership and unmatched skills that make the Northern Service so special. I am delighted to identify with the wonderful professionals at ZNS in Grand Bahama and commend the entire team for the caring, competent, and remarkable service that they continue to render to our communities and country at large. Adderley was also a co-anchor during ZNS Northern Service Hurricane Dorian broadcast. And that's a look at stories making news. Shane, tell us what's happening in sports.
Well, Ramigo, coming up in sports, one young lady had the chance of a lifetime to play soccer over in Europe, and she was all smiles as she told us about the experience. You don't want to miss it. Sports is next after this break.
Hey, what are you doing?
I'm self-insuring my investments, starting with this tarp.
We all remember the blue tarps after the storm. Let's make sure that we are covered with more than a tarp. Don't allow your investment to be at risk. Protect your investment with one of our insurance policies.
Nobody does it better.
Hey y'all, what you doing? I'm reading an iVox book from the library. And I'm reading a Vox book. What? An iVox book is a storybook that moves with you. And a Vox book is a book that reads along with you. Ooh, let me see.
The Sir Charles Haywood Library introduces Vox and iVox reading books, a brand new collection of interactive reading technology, the first of their kind in the Bahamas for children. But wait, there's more. We're also introducing Overdrive, our digital library, where you can find books for teens, young adults, and the young at heart, with over 4,000 magazines for people of all ages and interests. Come on, bring your entire family. Swing by and give them a try. They're all available at the Sir Charles Haywood Library.
Here at Freeport Decorators, we have hundreds of products for you to choose from. Whether you're in the market for trophies, plaques, rubber stamps, corporate signs, any kind of interior signage, stamps, or seals, we're your one-stop shop. We feature glass, acrylic, crystal awards for every occasion. We build all the trophies here on site. Looking for a gift item? We feature pens, key rings, mugs, tumblers, barbecue tools, even bamboo cutting boards. Have something already? Bring it on down. Let us see if we can print that special something on it for you. Need a headstone? Memorialize the memory of your loved one with a beautifully lasered granite marker. Our store hours are Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. We focus on customization. So if you have an idea or a new concept, bring it on down or call us at 352-5557 or even WhatsApp your idea to us at 646-0777 and we will do our best to make your awards and recognition ideas a reality.
Jade Champagne and The Rhythm presents 102.7 The Rhythm turns 3, and it's a big performance with Taurus Riley live. Taurus Riley live. Oh yeah, the hitmaker, the reggae icon, Taurus Riley live. Saturday, December 14th at the Grand Lucayan Ballroom. Doors open at 8 p.m., showtime at 11 p.m. For 102.7 The Rhythm big birthday party with Taurus Riley live. Get tickets online now. TheRhythm3.com. And it's a big performance. Taurus Riley. Brought to you by Jade Champagne and The Rhythm. Saturday, December 14th, 102.7 The Rhythm turns 3 with Taurus Riley live.
Your number one news team covering the North.
What's happening, beautiful people? I'm Shane Stubbs, and welcome to your Northern Edition Sports Update. Fast-pitch softball action returned over the weekend, but first, let's start with soccer. Peyton Gordon had the time of her life playing soccer over in Europe during the summer months. She joined the NSA Select team out of California, playing in both the Gothia and Dana Cups in Denmark and Sweden.
It felt really good, especially to be the first Bahamian to go. I enjoyed meeting different players from different nations and speaking to everyone. The players played really well and they trained really hard, so I'm hoping to get better and learn from them.
It was a change of pace for the 13-year-old, and it really tested her resolve. But she says it motivated her to approach training differently.
I plan to take training more seriously and step up my game and be more confident.
Not only was she there for moral support, but Coach Simone Stubbs got some coaching opportunities as well, coaching the under-12 and under-15 girls teams.
to be able to get a chance to experience coaching girls from Sweden, girls from California, Hawaii. We had a good mixture of girls on both teams. I grew learning to deal with different personalities. That was parents, players, and it's an experience I definitely wouldn't trade for the world.
As far as the team's success, they made it to the round of 8 at the Gothia Cup and the semis of the Dana Cup, showing rapid improvement as the days went on. And lastly in sports, fast pitch action returned in the Grand Bahama Amateur Softball Association. The Sagoma Nailers went head-to-head with swing and misses. Behind some stellar pitching and some timely hitting, the Nailers were able to come away with a big-time win. The final score, 8-2. And in men's action, Quality Press players had everything going for them. While locked in on the defensive side of the ball, they'd find no issues driving in run after run en route to the 12-2 victory over the Chad Investments Golden Knights. The players will be back in action again this Friday when they take on QCB Management Warriors. Meanwhile, swing and misses aim to rebound and get a win against girls like Diamonds.
And that'll do it for your Northern Edition Sports Check, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Shane Stubbs. As always, be safe and be great.
Thanks, Shane. Now here's your check on your local weather forecast, sponsored by Royal Star Assurance.
Tonight's weather forecast is brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
'Cause it's so beautiful.
Hi, I want to put some shoes on your feet.
Hi, I want to put some shoes on your feet.
I still want to put shoes on your feet.
I want to put some shoes on your feet.
And I still want to put shoes on your feet.
We still want to put shoes on your feet.
2 locations to put shoes on your feet. Downtown Freeport, and now our newest location in the Carmichael City Shopping Plaza, right behind the Walk Up Wendy's, Carmichael Road West.
Journey to a serene oasis. Relax. Rejuvenate. Renew. Welcome to Renew Day Spa. For appointments, call 352-RENU.
Have you been waiting for windows? Then wait no more. Cornets Bahamas have in stock now PVC sliding windows, casement windows, and impact sliding windows with mirror tinted glass, all in different sizes and styles. Call us at 352-1301 or visit any of our 4 locations in Freeport, Nassau, Abaco, and Eleuthera for the great products and great prices. Open 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Saturdays. Cornets Bahamas, dream, design, deliver.
The most important thing in life is family, and whenever you need reliable advice, you look to the people you know you can trust. At J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers, we earn our clients' trust every day. Whether it's home, motor, travel, or commercial insurance, we've got you covered. Call 397-2100 or visit jsjohnson.com.
JS Johnson Insurance, peace of mind.
JS Event, JMC TCI, and Sunset Village Fish Fry present I'm a Boatman, featuring Katie and Fred. I'm a Boatman. D-Mac, Tino D, Nishi Ellis, Sweet Emily, Wilfred Solomon, Funky D, Stevie S, Veronica Bishop, Papa Smurf, Sherrod Taylor, Lil Joe Cartwright, Mama D, Colin McDonough, Chad Cully, and the VIP. And from Turks Island, the Proficient Band, and host Super P. There'll also be performances by The Swinger and the Platinum Nights Junkanoo Crew. Sunday, October 13th at Sunset Village Fish Fry, 8 Mile Rock. Sponsored by the Ministry of Grand Bahama and the Ministry of Tourism.
We all need to save time, gas, and money. Shopping at Save More can help you do just that. Make us your first stop for all your prescription needs and medical supplies. Get all your health and beauty items at the same time. And don't miss our huge choice of snacks to satisfy your cravings. And the largest vitamin selection and over-the-counter relief products. Need diapers and other baby care items? First stop. The new section for makeovers, cosmetics, and beautiful jewelry will make you sparkle for that next special event. Save More Drugs, your more store.
Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
That concludes The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. I'm Ramiko Knowles. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to stay tuned. The Bahamas Tonight continues.
Coming up in the Bahamas tonight, a remarkable feat for the local economy. Find out the huge gain and how you're to benefit. Labor officials take action against a big no-no in the workplace. Plus, not enough to do. A recurring complaint for cruise ship passengers. Hear the tourism minister's suggestion to right that wrong. And in sports, how far did Jazz's Jazzy Footworks get the Yankees? The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, starts now.
ZNS News is brought to you by the new BTC. Fiber is here. Faster, stronger, more reliable. Together, we are unstoppable. Switch today.
Liquidity in the local banking sector at the highest it's ever been. If that means very little to you, just think in terms of how quickly you can get your money whenever you need it. Now, if we were to put a figure on this, Central Bank Governor John Rowe pegs the amount of excess liquidity at 200% over what's considered the regulatory minimum.
Looking at the data, there has not...
Good evening, everyone. I'm Mukesh Lopinder, and this is the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Thanks for tuning in. We begin tonight with news on the local economy, which from all reports has scored a huge win. But as you hear in this report, no doubt there are benefits, but also a degree of drawbacks. Is the central bank governor concerned? Well, just listen in. Liquidity in the local banking sector at the highest it's ever been. If that means very little to you, just think in terms of how quickly you can get your money whenever you need it. Now, if we were to put a figure on this, Central Bank Governor John Rowe pegs the amount of excess liquidity at 200% over what's considered the regulatory minimum.
Looking at the data, there has not been a period in the past where that amount of liquidity sat in the system. The reason why we have that level of liquidity in the system, separate and apart from other reasons, is that while it would be used to provide credit, the environment still hasn't been fully rejuvenated so that you have the level of bank lending that we can sustain, and therefore the surplus funds are accumulated in liquidity.
Be that as it may, it's a confidence booster to the economy. After all, there are more resources for lending. But by the same token, there are inherent cons.
The downside, if you have too much liquidity in the system, it could mean that there's potential resources that are not being fully utilized. We also see the liquidity as being the flip side of, the potential for spending to lead to use of foreign exchange and therefore some drawdown on the foreign reserves. And again, from the central bank's perspective, we have more than adequate buffers to allow for that utilization to take place.
The central bank governor says so far there have been some good signs in terms of what the private sector has been able to achieve.
What we've seen in the last few months is, more than $150 million as an example in resources that the private sector was able to draw upon from the funds that were in the system to finance activity, specifically, what has been going on with the energy sector reform and the investments in the that need to be funding the upgrade of the power grid, et cetera. And when we also look at some of the other projects that relate to improving the energy supply system in the Bahamas, we've seen just between those activities around about $200 million worth of funding that have been raised locally.
Add to the mix, a major domestic tourism project recently pulled in close to $100 million in financing, according to Mr. Rowe. Well, we're going to cross on over now to tourism, where the Bahamas is seeing record numbers of visitors. The $300 million Nassau cruise port in large part responsible for the tourism and economic boom. However, the complaint continues that even with a high volume of cruise ship visitors coming here each day,
those arrivals are not necessarily having a trickle-down or spillover effect on local businesses. Deputy Prime Minister and Tourism Minister, the Honourable Chester Cooper, says this concern is heard, and he explained the cause behind it.
The biggest complaint, notwithstanding, is not enough to do, and therefore we have gone in overdrive working with the Tourism Development Corporation to help entrepreneurs to incubate ideas, to fund ideas, and to get new tours and experiences going for the benefit of our guests and the empowerment of the entrepreneur.
Deputy Prime Minister reiterating that it's a call of action for everyone to play a part in boosting the country's top industry.
This is a call for the community to invest in tourism, to get involved, to create businesses, to invest in downtown, to create experiences for our guests, to help us to create and fulfill the vibe that we have been trying to create for entertainment and restaurants and experiences, cultural and heritage and otherwise downtown. So whilst we lead the process, Bahamians must invest in downtown, must invest in tourism. There's no better time to do it than right now.
Well, tonight the Labour Director is getting candid about what he sees as a growing concern in the workplace. It's the issue of harassment, and Corval Python reports on how the Director is addressing it.
On the labor front, officials have seen a number of successes. There's been steady activity in the job market, and the Department of Labor continues to be a vital resource for both employers and job seekers. Still, there are some areas Labor Director Howard Thompson finds troubling.
I've seen an uptick in complaints from our bosses being overbearing, sexual harassment, racism, to downright shouting and cursing out an employee, right? And let me hasten to say that they're Bahamian and they're foreigners. And so in both cases, we're actively investigating those incidents.
Almost 10 months into his role at the helm of the Department of Labor, Director Thompson, an attorney by profession, is determined to get to the bottom of these issues of harassment and mistreatment, whether from employer to employee or vice versa.
I take it very, very seriously, because most persons would know me know that I try to protect my reputation at all costs. So I take those complaints very, very seriously. I engage the inspection team, and I instruct them to do comprehensive investigation, have their files in order, and after that's done, I would sit with them at the files, see what their findings are, and I go from there.
He speaks pointedly to employers, though, because he feels confident they know what's expected of them.
But for the most part, employers know the law. It's not a complex bundle of laws that employees need to get their head around. I find that a lot of the Bahamian HR managers, they know the labor laws better than most lawyers. And so I've been very, very impressed with the various HR persons that I've been in contact with as Director of Labor.
Going forward, Thompson hopes to expand outreach initiatives to include more targeted campaigns for specific skill sets in high demand. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Corval Python.
4 foreigners found guilty of various immigration offenses. Haitian nationals Levinsky Asselon was convicted of overstaying and fined $1,000 or sentenced to 3 months at the Bahamas Department of Correctional Services. Chesley Maxine and Prudence Jean-Marie were meantime found guilty of staying and fined $1,500. It's either that or a 6-month stay at B-Docks. A $300 fine or 1 month sentencing was handed down to Dominican national Hilda Maranta for illegal embarkation. Upon payment of the fine or completion of sentences, all migrants were ordered to be turned over to the Department of Immigration for deportation. The 4 appeared before Magistrate Algernon Allen, Jr. Still to come, reaction to the Valley Boys feud. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. There's more news in a moment.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Folk Call Smart Pass, the smart way to pay at the pump.
At Commonwealth Bank, we offer affordable and flexible choices to get you back to financial fitness. Our personalized debt consolidation solution is built to fit any financial situation. One easy-to-handle monthly payment reduces your monthly expenses and gets you back on track to savings. Life is great when you're not weighed down by debt. Consolidate and live your best life with Commonwealth Bank, your leader in personal banking services.
Experience the difference with BTC's fixed services. Whether you're working from home or enjoying family time, BTC ensures you're always in touch with the people and moments that count. BTC isn't just a service, it's a lifestyle. Stay connected, stay inspired, and live your best life. BTC.
Finger licking good.
We need people who are willing to step up and take action. Need people willing to fight for what is good and what is right.
We are on the verge of the most profound industrial revolution in human history. I've had the privilege of seeing the future, and I'm here to tell you that it's not just going to be okay, it's going to be amazing.
I've made a decision to remain committed to doing all I can to help elevate you.
Get ready for OWN Talks 2024. All new speakers, all new insight, and an all-new chance to submit an application and win one of the grants given away by OWN Bahamas to jumpstart your business endeavors.
Your professional success is going to become about how well we can imagine a future that we want to live in and the courage to build for it.
Mediocre minds are the greatest enemies to innovation and change.
There's nothing we can't do.
Make this year your best year yet. Education is the key to success, and the University of the West Indies Global Campus Bahamas is your partner in success. Take a course that increases your value in a matter of weeks, or get that degree you've been dreaming of with convenient online learning. Visit us at global.uwi.edu/Bahamas, call 323-6593, or WhatsApp 456-6687 today.
Blessings gonna find me here.
Gents, Mother's Day is coming up, and I'm thinking about upgrading my kids' mother's kitchen.
Man, I thought your children's mother was married to another man. You have to know when to let go. This is powerful. You know what? I'm going to upgrade my wife's kitchen for Mother's Day. I am sure she would love that.
I think so too. Check out Cornet Bahamas. They're having a pre-Mother's Day sale, 35% off store-wide starting April 16th through May 16th. The Sandy Port Plaza, Freeport, Albuquerque, and...
Portion of the news is brought to you by Bahamas Striping Group of Companies.
Internal issues weighing down the two Valley Boys Junkanoo groups, adding another layer, a notice of eviction served on the old guard, ordering them to vacate the Claridge Road shack immediately. LaDawn Davis takes it from here.
It was close to 7 p.m. on Tuesday evening when leader of the Way Forward Valley Boys, Trevor Davis, and members of his team, alongside the police, arrived at the Valley Boys Claridge Road shack to serve a 4-paragraph summons and notice of eviction to the executive team of the world-famous Valley Boys, headed by longtime chairman Brian Adderley, Denrick Miller, and John Archer. But none were in sight. According to noted builder and executive member Herbert Bain, a 10-year lease issued to the Old Valley regime in 2007 expired. Now, with 80% of the Valley Boys now backing Trevor Davis, Bain says it was now time to reclaim the group's old homestead.
The previous management team of the Valley Boys
did not see it fit to renew the lease. And technically speaking, anyone could have come and obtained a lease for this facility, and the Valley Boys would be out in the cold. But we, in our quest to build this group and to build this group for the membership, we were able to secure a 10-year lease for this property.
Past vice chairman of the world-famous Valley Boys, Patrick Adderley, says all of the theatrics displayed is distasteful, embarrassing to fans, sponsors, and supporters, and is not a reflection of what the Valley Boys Junkanoo Group stands for.
This renegade fraction, in their own pronouncements, 2 weeks ago, said that they had 3 shacks. Mr. Sandy Sands, the minister, all of them are trying to force us to join or meet with these people. But these are the kind of theatrics that they do behind your back, under the door, under the cover, underhanded things, wicked, evil things. This is what they're all about. And this is why we cannot talk to them.
The Way Forward Valley Boys Group leader Trevor Davis claims an olive branch has been extended in an effort to build the Valley Boys and regain the prominence the group is known for since the 1950s, but to no avail.
We're the ones who are saying, let's have election. We're the ones who are saying, let's have transparency and accountability. And if that was the order of the day, we wouldn't have been here. We'll have been talking about something else. We'll have been talking about the costumes, we'll in unity.
And the fate of the Valley Boys will be determined after a special called meeting with Culture Minister the Honorable Mario Boleg, the JCNP and NJC executives, and other stakeholders on Sunday. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm LaDawn Davis.
Well, our news team today hit the streets to hear what you had to say about the decision to withhold seed money from the Valley Boys Junkanoo groups until Sunday's meeting. Listen in.
The Valley Boys ain't sure who they are, and they need to get it together. And the government shouldn't give them no money until they figure out how they can get back together. They're just wasting people's time, and they're wasting all of our energies. I'm a true Valley Boy. I mean, I don't rush, but I support the Valley Boys. But I ain't sure what they're doing, and they need to stop embarrassing themselves.
But I don't see where the government, the JCNB, or the NJC should get involved in the Valley Boys problem. They were arguing. Go ahead. One family came from Saxon. When they decided to go, what one family did? Got their own name, and one family, they're gone. Genesis did the same thing. Came from the Saxon and formed the group, and that's it. Roots came from Valley Boys, and their name was Roots. And I said, why this crew want to come now? It's something they want to name. I don't know what they want to name for. You know what I mean? I don't know why it's on the name. But for me, if I was them, let them handle their own business.
Well, today marking the anniversary of the Straw Market fire, a crushing blow to the many vendors whose livelihood went up in flames that fateful day 23 years ago. Our Fern Carey takes a look back with the help of some of those who witnessed it all.
It has been 23 years since the world-famous straw market in downtown Nassau burned to the ground, shocking the nation and destroying an historic facility that had been around for decades. Longtime vendors James Roll, Juanita Wilson, and Nellie Clark were among those who watched in disbelief and horror as their livelihoods went up in smoke on September 4th, 2001.
It was an incident further down on the end, I'd say, to the eastern part of the market when a gentleman came in. I won't call him a gentleman at all. And he threw gasoline and he lit it. And the fire just rolled. It rolled in balls. And it came straight out. So everybody was busy trying to get their things out, screaming, packing, throwing things and bikes, pulling it out and everything. People came from on Bay Street to help us all over.
And a guy come and say, JR, help me out. They say, on fire around there, help me out the fire. If I know what I know now, I would help him out the fire. I said, man, I ain't no fire, man. I parked the wake up and go on to play domino. About 15, 20 minutes when I look back downstairs, I went upstairs. When I look back downstairs, all the downstairs was on fire.
I was sleeping, and when I listen, I hear them say fire. When I look, I see smoke, and I get so confused, and I run out, leave everything.
My mom is out there, as well as my grandmother, who's also out there in the straw market. And it was very worrying. We didn't know exactly where they were.
The fire was said to be set following a lover's quarrel with a peanut vendor convicted and sentenced to 2 years for the blaze. Fortunately, there were no injuries reported, but all of the vendors were displaced.
It was horrific. It was a terrible experience. I would never want to go through that again. Neither would I like anyone else to experience such a thing.
Years later, the vendors are thriving, and the market is still the vehicle that allows them to finance their lives and send their children to school locally and abroad. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Fern Carey.
Thanks, Fern. Agriculture and Marine Resources Minister, the Honourable Jomo Campbell, today launching the Anchor Award, scheduled for December 7th at the Bahamar Convention Centre. The whole idea is to award a number of fishermen for their excellence. $50,000 worth of cash and prizes up for grabs for attendees, and for fishermen, prestigious awards including Lifetime Achievement and Prime Minister's Youth Fisher of the Year.
Let us celebrate the vibrant legacy of our fishers. Their dedication to the ocean not only sustains our families, but also shapes the future of our beloved Bahamaland. Together, let's honor their work, protect our marine resources, and inspire pride in our maritime culture. Together, we can ensure that the contributions of our fishermen are recognized for years to come. Tickets will go on sale shortly after the nomination process closes.
For a long time, fishers have been toiling and supporting the economy of the Bahamas and not been recognized officially.
On this week's edition of WealthWise, Leno Corporate Services takes a closer look at trust funds. Here's Devontae Hanna. Oh, we still have more news to come, but Marcellus Hall has a look at what's coming up in sports. Marcellus?
Coming up in sports for tonight, Major League Baseball action in full swing as Jazz Chisholm and the Yankees try to pick up a win ahead in sports.
Bulk up your business and communication with parents, students, and staff in seconds with a live business bulk SMS messaging. This is the perfect tool to keep you connected and easily send important updates, event reminders, and emergency alerts. Keep your campus informed and connected with bulk SMS messaging from Alive Business. The right choice for fast, reliable communication. For more information, contact the experts.
Marco's, the pizza that's perfect for every party, every moment, and every occasion.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home healthcare supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price, and you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
Over a decade ago, the Bahamas Striping Group of Companies was birthed out of a passion to change the way we travel. From only a $5,000 grant, the tenacity and work ethic has propelled BSGC to one of the leading road management companies in the Caribbean. We pride ourselves on going the extra mile where others won't, through the use of our state-of-the-art equipment and our certified team. Although the success is commendable, the road has been long. Yet, the mission continues in striving to be a world-class organization ran by Bahamians for Bahamians. With the help of our experienced and hardworking team, we at the Bahamas Striping Group of Companies are committed to making a difference, one road at a time. for all of life's twists, turns, and defining moments. RBC is a win for all of you.
All right, team. As a business, it is important for us to save money so y'all can get raises, bonuses, and maternity leave with pay. We need to become an energy efficient business. Suggestions?
Plant trees outside. It'll help to keep the building cool and clean the air, stop the heat before it hit the window.
But we have curtains and blinds though.
That's true. Strike one.
Okay. Laptops save more energy than desktops because desktops always plugged in. Plus, laptops have energy saving mode.
But I just be on my laptop all day and I still just be exhausted. So how that's supposed to save us any energy?
That's true. Strike two. You talk.
Go paperless.
That's a great one. I need to write that down. Pen. Give me the pen. Give me the pen. How you think with these things, young man?
I just that good, boss.
SBDC encourages you to save energy and money.
Get ready for the 20th Abaco Business Outlook, September 19th at the stunning Abaco Beach Resort for a full day of insightful discussions under the theme Future Abaco, Branding the National Identity, Planning for Success. Hear from our keynote speaker, the Honorable Clay Sweeting. Don't miss our interactive panels on infrastructure, hospitality management, and airlift development. Secure your spot today at tclevents.com or call us at 322-1000.
200 seventh graders of T.A. Thompson Junior High got an added treat on their first day of school as Rubus Bahamas gifted backpacks and other school supplies. Rubus's Micah Knowles speaks of the community outreach.
We are giving every seventh grade student coming into the system, straight out of primary school, a backpack, 8 black and white books, and a sanitizer.
But this is day one for these seventh graders. Most of them already have a backpack.
That's all right. Many of the parents may not have gotten the memo, but we did advise them not to invest in it. But you know what? Seventh grade is a hard year. Bags don't always last as long, so they will always have the excess.
G. Simmons Johnson says it's a continuation of Rubus's altruism.
Earlier this year, we did a food distribution for Great Commission Ministries. And so what we try to do is stay in tune to find out what's happening and how we can help, most importantly. Earlier this year and so far for the year, I think we've already committed to or given support to over 17 organizations.
Meantime, local corporate citizen Bamboo Shack's giving back in its own way to assist students with the new academic year. The company this past weekend hosted a back-to-school fun day with youngsters receiving free school supplies, free haircuts, and other treats. Chief Executive Officer Joseph Pinder says it's an ongoing initiative.
Where we just give back to the community, where we give essential supplies for people, who just need that last-minute pickup. And also, in addition, we have free haircuts. We also have a little, food station where we give out hot dogs, popcorn, cotton candy, drinks. And then, of course, we have fun and games as well.
Well, again, in this week's edition of WealthWise, Leno Corporate Services takes a closer look at trust funds. Here's Devontae Hanna with the story.
From the minute we acquire certain possessions, we are told that making a will is essential. Is that the only way to go, though? Sharon Colebrook, Managing Director at Leno Trust Limited, offers another option. In today's episode of WealthWise, she takes a look at the trust fund.
A will is a very good vehicle for estate planning, but at Leno, we have another option, and it's called a trust fund. A trust fund is where we establish an arrangement between the settlor, our client, and it's designed specifically to hold funds for beneficiaries.
You now know the alternative to a will, but what exactly is a trust fund?
A trust fund is a legal agreement, and it's actually a document between the trustee and our client, who is the settlor. And that traditional word came because a trust is settled. They're settled by a settlor. And there are 3 elements that must be involved in a trust agreement. That's going to be the document itself, where we will have it custom tailored to meet your personal needs and your wishes. Then the second element would be a transfer of assets. Assets are transferred into the name of the trustee, Leno Trust, and the third would be the beneficiaries. Every trust is designed for beneficiaries. It's designed so that the trustee can distribute funds to beneficiaries at set times.
Those are the basics, but let's look a little further into the trust fund.
A trust fund is designed so that your assets, you've taken a lot of time to accumulate your assets, so a trust fund is designed not only to hold it during your lifetime, it's designed to be able to distribute it after your death. A will only comes into place after your death. But a trust fund, you're going to direct the trust fund throughout your life. The assets will be professionally managed, and they're not only managed, they're protected. So a trust fund serves a dual purpose during life and then after death.
Whether it's a will or a trust fund, one should always safeguard the future for loved ones. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Devontae Hanna.
You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. There's more news in a moment.
With BGC's crystal clear mobile service, stay connected seamlessly, whether on land or at sea. Our reliable postpaid plans keep your loved ones closer, no matter where life takes you.
Why pay more when you can pay less? Shop the specials at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets. Kraft macaroni and cheese, 7 1/4 ounce, 2 for $2. Distinction Long Life Milk, assorted 1 liter, $2.29. Old Carolina bacon, 12 ounce, $4.49. Sweet bananas, 89 cents per pound. Beef short ribs, $2.99 per pound. Rescuing you from high prices. That's Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
Health is the greatest gift. That's where we come in. Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies is a premier distributor of medical equipment, as well as medical and surgical consumables. Our engineers are always on hand, providing top care service that saves lives. We carry a wide selection of over-the-counter and prescription items, IV fluids, and other injections. Our products are state-of-the-art, and our entire team stays on top of cutting-edge technology. With more than 2 decades of dedicated service, Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies continues to be a trendsetter and innovator in healthcare. We have set ourselves apart by truly caring for our customers. We understand the intricacies of healthcare, and we produce spectacular results. We cherish our partnerships and nurture our friendships as we continue on our quest to help everyone maintain that wonderful gift of good health.
Find us on 95th Terrace, Centerville, and now located in the Lucaya Shopping Center of Freeport, Grand Bahama.
Hey, it's your honorary pump attendant back again with another episode on the do's and don'ts at a service station. Let's go. What you ain't gonna do is just pull up to any dispenser and put the nozzle inside your car without reading the signs. Because if you put the wrong fuel inside your car and the car mess up, you could be mad at us, all right? And then you have to walk or catch bus for about 3 to 18 months. What you're supposed to do is read the signs. We place signs all over the dispenser to tell you which fuel is which. Because you put the wrong one in your car, say bop, and you could be mad at us. You could be, oh, what happened to my car? No, it's you who ain't read. It say diesel, diesel, one word, diesel. You got up, and you mad at us. Read, that's all you have to do.
Eleuthera is still plagued with power and water disruptions, a setback that will likely impact schools on that island. Education Minister Glenys Hanna Martin says she's in close communication with her colleague, Works Minister, the Honourable Clay Sweeting, to resolve what's become a chronic issue.
But we are hopeful that these issues will be resolved. If we see we're going to have sustained issues, he and I discussed possible strategies to ensure minimal disruption in schools. But, you know, this is an electricity company that has sort of been struggling for quite a long time. And hopefully very soon we'll be able to bolster and strengthen its ability to deliver electricity without interruption in this country. But you know, I believe in DPL. It needs work, it needs investment. It has helped us through the many years. And so let's hope that it will be able to get the resources it needs to be able to continue to deliver for the Bahamian people.
We also have more tonight from a recent town hall meeting on Cat Island where plans for a new medical facility were unveiled. The new Stevenson Clinic, one of several the government plans to construct across the country with the help of a $60 million loan from the Inter-American Development Bank. Health Minister, the Honourable Dr. Michael Darville, says the facility will be equipped to handle complicated cases through its telemedicine platform.
To do some surgical procedures and to also be able to handle some of the complexities of certain pregnancies that happen before they're airlifted to new province. So the facility itself will not be a full hospital, but the facility will be able to do much more than we are actually doing here on Cat Island as we speak.
The Tourism Development Corporation continues to demonstrate its unwavering commitment to fostering entrepreneurship and innovation within the Bahamian tourism sector. With all the details on what that looks like, we turn now to a report from our West Calix Forbes.
TDC is empowering local businesses and driving economic growth. The Pitch Your Business program allows entrepreneurs and those aspiring to start up a business an opportunity to earn funding up to $10,000. Phase 1 of the program covered Exuma, New Providence, and Grand Bahama. Exuma's Leonardo Roll pitched his business, finishing in top 3.
We offer an ATV tour in Exuma that focuses on some of our historic landmarks in Exuma, such as the famous Pompeii, some of our very old buildings, some of our historic churches, one of our little natural caves that's down the beach in Exuma, and some of our nice beaches there also. And so we take guests to all of these locations, and they get to see some of the marine lives like the conch, starfish, etc., all in their natural habitat. And we just started a little bit over a year ago with the business, and so we still have some startup costs and things that we need to improve our services for our guests there, such as a small vehicle, a van for our guests. We're adding in a proper office space with a restroom for our guests. And also, we needed a shed.
When asked about the traffic on Exuma to keep his business and other businesses afloat, this is what he had to say.
I feel very confident in the tourism product on Exuma. The numbers speak for themselves. From the tourism we see over the past 4 years, I think the numbers have been increasing each year.
The TDC Pitch Your Business series will continue, this time with its phase 2, covering the Berry Islands, Eleuthera, Bimini, Cat Island, and Andros. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm West Calix Forbes.
Well, it's time now for a check on Family Island weather with Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. Good evening, Basil. I'm hoping we can still mark ourselves safe from those disturbances out there.
Absolutely. There are 4 suspicious areas that are out there, and we continue to monitor them. The good news is none of them pose any threat to the Bahamas. And right now, we are under partly cloudy skies, temperature at 87 degrees, the relative humidity 78%. We have easterly winds at 14 miles per hour, the barometric pressure 1,016.3 millibars, that's 30.01 inches. And your temperatures around the islands this evening, we have some homogeneous temperatures in the extreme northwest. Freeport, Grand Bahama, Green, Torquay, and Marsh Harbor, all at 86 degrees. 86 again in the Berry Islands, Alistown, Bimini, 85. 86 in Harbour Island, Rockside, Eleuthera, and Fresh Creek, Central Andros, Kemp Space, South Andros, Black Point, Exuma, Alistown, Cat Island, San Salvador, Rumkey, Georgetown, Exuma, all enjoying 86 degrees at this hour. 86 they extend again into Rygat Island, Cloudstown, Long Island, and Crooked Island. Betsy Bay, Maguana, 84, Acklands at 88, Matthew Town, Hidalgo, 85, and the Turks and Caicos Islands at 85 degrees. And your boating forecast tonight is brought to you by Live Business, where you're always protected during the worst storms. In the northwestern islands, tonight through Thursday, easterly winds once again at 10 to 15 knots, and the wave heights 2 to 4 feet. High tide will occur at 9:36 tonight, with a second high tide at 9:56 tomorrow morning. In the central and southeastern islands through Thursday, easterly winds 12 to 18 knots, the wave heights at 3 to 6 feet, maintaining that caution flag into Thursday. And then on Friday, for the northwest and central parts of our country, we have a slight rotation clockwise, the winds becoming east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots, the wave heights 2 to 4 feet. Your high tide on Friday, 10:31 in the morning, with the low tide at 4:47 in the afternoon. And for the southeast Bahamas on Friday, east to southeast winds maintaining that 12 to 18 knot speeds, hence caution flags remain in place for the southeast Bahamas. That's going to do it for your boating forecast. It's time now for your international temperatures, and they're brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
Continue to fight, forgive them peace and love, and everything will be all right. Say,
That's going to do it for your international temperatures, brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. But stay tuned. The extended weather forecast is still ahead.
In case you missed the news or want to stay ahead, follow us at ZNS Digital on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, or X. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and visit us on our website at znsbahamas.com.
You could spend more, but why? Save with the specials at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets. Seabass tuna, 5-ounce, 2 for $1.89. Western canola oil, 48-ounce, $4.99. Sweet peaches or nectarines, $1.99 per pound. Mort's assorted juices, 8-pack, 6.75 ounces, $5.99. Chicken leg quarters, 10-pound bag, $1.09 per pound. Rescuing you from high prices, that's Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
From June 1st to November 30th, the ZNS Radio and Television Network is the #1 source in the Bahamas for hurricane information before, during, and after a storm. Now is the time to choose your radio and television hurricane season ad packages. Get extra special rates and run the ads only when you want them to run. Call the ZNS sales office today at 502-3800.
Colon cancer is the third most common cancer affecting Bahamians. Your risk of developing colon cancer is increased if you have a personal history of colorectal cancer or colon polyps, a family history of colon cancer, or inflammatory bowel diseases such as ulcerative colitis. Other factors that can increase your risk of developing colon cancer are low fiber, high fat diets, a sedentary lifestyle, obesity, smoking, and alcohol. You can take steps to reduce your risk of colon cancer by making specific lifestyle changes. Eat a variety of fruits, vegetables, and whole grains. These foods contain fiber, minerals, vitamins, and antioxidants, which may play a role in cancer prevention. Drink alcohol in moderation or not at all. Do not smoke. Exercise with a goal of getting in at least 30 minutes each day. If you've been inactive, start slowly and gradually build up to 30 minutes. Also, talk to your doctor before starting any exercise program. Maintain a healthy weight. If you're at a healthy weight, maintain it by combining a well-balanced diet with daily exercise. If you need to lose weight, ask your doctor about healthy ways to achieve your goal. Colon cancer screening can also help to prevent colon cancer or lead to its early detection when treatment is most effective. If you're 45 years or older, speak to your doctor about having a colonoscopy or some form of colon cancer screening that may be appropriate for you. I'm Dr. Eugene Marcus Cooper. Pay attention to your health. Get the facts and discuss colon cancer with your physician today.
This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health in partnership with the Public Hospitals Authority.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
Welcome to your ZNS Total Sports Check, everybody. I'm Marcellus Hall. New Providence Softball Association playoffs. They continued last night over at the Bankers Field. In the ladies' opener, Sunshine Auto Wildcats, they take a commanding 2-0 lead over the Johnson Lady Truckers, picking up the win yesterday evening, 17-1. Tila Stevens was your winning pitcher. She was also pretty good at the plate, going 2 for 3 with a double and 2 RBI. Now, in the men's feature game, Cybertech Blue Marlins advanced to the next round as they beat the Titans 13-7. They sweep their series 3-0 there. To Major League Baseball, where Jazz Chisholm and the New York Yankees taking on the Texas Rangers. Jazz with a good night at the plate. He went 2 for 4 with a run scored. Yankees, however, would take the loss. 7-4 ends up being your final. Sports Minister, the Honorable Mario Bolag, saying that the ministry is now set to have a conclave with various sporting federations in the country. On top of the discussion list is getting the Bahamas involved in more sports at the Olympic level. At the Paris Olympic Games that ended last month, the Bahamas finished with no medals, with its best finish coming from hurdler Devin Charlton, who was 6th across the line in the 100-meter hurdles final. With more support, Bolag is hopeful at the 2028 Games, which will be held in Los Angeles, Bahamian athletes can show up and show out.
Of course, you're speaking to some of the federations. They have some needs that they will need us to assist them to, and so we'll do whatever we can to ensure that we assist them with those needs so that we can have a greater participation. You look at esports and all, I understand it's going to be in 2028, and so but it's just speaking over the weekend with the Esport Federation and the events that they're having coming on, and you know these young men and ladies love to play the video games, and so we definitely support it, but we have to ensure that within the next 4 years the development there is strong and our presence in the Olympics is strong, and when we get there, but we perform at the best of our ability, and not just to show.
Government League basketball playoffs back on the agenda for tonight at the D.W. Davis Gym. Opening game will be the Baines and Grantstown Cybots. They take on the Airport Authority Avengers at 7. That'll be followed by the Police Crime Stoppers up against the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture Panthers. That game comes your way at 8 p.m. And that's your check on sports for you tonight. We do have your weather report just ahead. Stay with us.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
Your one-stop shop for all things news and entertainment.
Bringing you exclusive content from unique talents you can't find anywhere else.
Keeping you updated with the top stories from across the nation.
And entertained with a variety of engaging content.
All in one place.
With one click.
You mean I can get all this in the palm of my hand?
Yes.
On all my favorite devices?
Yes.
And with unlimited access to all types of different content.
You won't need to look anywhere else.
That's ZNS Digital.
That's ZNS Digital.
That's ZNS Digital.
That's ZNS Digital. ZNS Digital, the people station in your pocket.
We seem to remember our athletes when they make us proud at the finish line. Throw a Junkanoo parade when they return home, toss them a few dollars. And then forget about them until the next Members of the prestigious Fourth Estate should never sell themselves to any politician. Instead, keep their hands and noses clean in order to publish or broadcast the unadulterated truth. Well, that's how I see it anyway.
Read As I See It, exclusively at ZNSBahamas.com. New articles premiere on Mondays at 9 a.m.
A lot of our young men and women, they look forward to being around the game of basketball so much because a lot of their community is infested with crime and violence. It's always been a passion of mine to make sure to channel these young men and women in the right direction to sports. Basketball and being in this environment is a safe haven for them in terms of what they need to do to get out. You have leadership conference to help these young men and women to understand the importance of making the right choice. I tell all of my athletes, when you go to school, help yourself, stay focused, use basketball, don't let basketball use you. I love the game has been good to me, and I just want to give back to the young people who have opportunity so the game can be good to them. Crime-free looks like me.
Do your part. Join the movement to a safer Bahamas.
Time now for weather.
In our final look at weather, we're going to get you started with the tropics, and we continue to monitor 5 areas here in the tropics. The first one, this little area here in the Gulf of Mexico near Texas, that's been hanging in there now for the past several days. Hurricane Center has given this a 10% chance of development, and it's going to continue to drift towards north between Louisiana and the Texas coast. And then we have this area here in the central Caribbean Sea. This too is progressing towards the west. It has about a 30% chance of development, but the good news is it will stay south of the Bahamas, so no threat to us at all. But as it moves into the Gulf of Mexico sometime over the weekend, well, there could be some intensification of the system and a tropical depression could possibly form. And then we have another area some several hundred miles to the east of the Lesser Antilles. That too is moving towards the west at a very good clip, at about 20 miles per hour, and that one has about a 10% chance of development over the next couple of days. And beyond that, which is off of our map, in the eastern Atlantic, we have an area that the Hurricane Center is given a 30% chance of development. The good news about that system is that it will turn towards the northwest and remain over the open waters of the Atlantic. And then we have the area number 5. This one is a few hundred miles just to the east of North Carolina. It has too about a 10% chance of development, but it is moving towards the north and east, meaning it's moving away from the coast of the United States, so no threat there at all again. And then our satellite pictures are just reinforcing what we are predicting to happen. We have this area of showers and thunderstorms several hundred miles to the east of the Los Angeles. Yes, that's associated with that tropical wave that we just talked about, which is also progressing towards the west. And this is the one that only has a 10% chance of development. In the central Caribbean Sea, satellite pictures once again are confirming that we do have this disorganized area of showers, particularly around Jamaica. And that will be spreading over the island of Jamaica tonight. So they will have periods of heavy showers and thunderstorms for the next day and a half. And then just off the Carolina coast, once again, our satellite picture showing you that you still have those pockets of showers and thunderstorms taking place there. And finally, in the northwest Gulf of Mexico, scattered showers and thunderstorms continue as a result of that low pressure system. And our forecast for tonight, we're looking at mostly cloudy, very warm tonight with your low temperature at 81 degrees. And tomorrow, it's going to be mostly cloudy with a passing shower, possibly in the afternoon, and we're giving that about a 30% chance of happening. The high temperature tomorrow, we're looking at 90 degrees, and your temperature profile unfolding like this, pretty warm for the early start of the day, 83 degrees, temperatures climbing, and we should plateau out as we get around 1 o'clock in the afternoon, but we will peak once again at 90 degrees. That will take place at about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And our extended weather forecast, cloudy conditions tomorrow with that passing shower in the afternoon. After that, we're looking at some clouds, some sunshine on Friday. Showers remaining in the forecast on Friday. But as we head into Saturday and Sunday, lots of sunshine working its way into our forecast. So the weekend is looking pretty nice for outdoor activity. But the temperature is going to be pretty warm. So once again, we remind you to keep yourself hydrated during the daytime. And as we head into the early part of next week, Monday, we have those showers become more scattered. And then as we head into the middle of the week, we'll have some isolated stuff. Okay, sure.
Well, thanks, Basil. And before we leave the city center to get a facelift and to get things started, tourism officials today announced the names of the artists whose work will be highlighted as part of the Downtown Mural Project. Here's Corvell Pyfrom.
6 artists now commissioned to help with the revitalizing of downtown Nassau. Their skills and artistic abilities will be used to transform now bland, blank walls in the downtown area into breathtaking wonders of bright, vibrant colors, highlighting themes showcasing what the Bahamas is about, bringing alive the city center and further bolstering the country's orange economy.
For the orange economy and our support for the creative community is well documented.
Deputy Prime Minister and Tourism Minister Chester Cooper today announced the results of his ministry's Downtown Mural Project. The initiative, DPM Cooper says, stands as a testament to the ministry's commitment to preserving the rich heritage of the Bahamas. The 6 artists chosen were required to submit proposals that included a detailed design concept, an artist statement, an estimated timeline, and budget.
It is important for the Bahamian people to be kept up to date as to what we are doing and the initiatives that form a part of the downtown revitalization for the benefit of the Bahamian people, for the improvement of our tourism product and the recreation of the charm of downtown Nassau that we all have become to know and to love.
Artists Rashid Demerit, Randia Coakley, and Angelica Wallace Whitfield are among the creatives commissioned for this project.
We're trying to get our names out there as well, too. So we're grateful for this opportunity.
I'm excited about that, to see all the other artists' designs and see how they all interact. And I'm excited for the finished product of everything, so you'll be able to go and take photos and to be a part of Bahamian history.
Oh, it's an honor to be amongst my fellow artists and to be able to contribute to the downtown renovations in my field.
The Deputy Prime Minister also announcing the Family Island Icon Project, a collection of iconic signages designed in the form of unique art pieces, sculptures, and interactive artworks will be created to capture the distinctive character of the islands of the Bahamas. Meanwhile, the Downtown Mural Project is expected to be completed before the end of the year. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Corvell Pyfrom.
Oh, good stuff there, Corvell. And that does it for the Bahamas Tonight. Thank you for continuing to make ZNS your first choice for news and information. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better. Thank you for watching, and good night.
For prepare, refocus, educate, and produce. When young people come to the program, we make them feel